actually recorded that and we send it to him?
Oh, we did record it. But...
No! It's recording right now?
Yeah.
It's so good that I didn't know that.
Hi!
Hi.
Welcome to a new mostly knitting podcast called Sibling Energy. My name is Mckenzie.
And I'm Tim.
And we are not siblings.
We're not. At all.
But I feel like our relationship deepened because we basically act like siblings.
Well, because we realized that I have little sibling energy, youngest. And you have oldest sibling energy.
I do, indeed. It's a blessing and a curse.
And then Mckenzie just started like calling it out one day. She was like, "Ugh, you're such a youngest."
And
I said, "Yes, I am."
It was all set from there. we couldn't backtrack.
That's right. When I know, for instance, what would you call oldest behaviors?
Oldest behaviors.
Yeah. Wait, maybe you should give youngest behaviors and I'll give oldest behaviors. That's oldest behavior. You'd say,
just reading you.
Mm-hmm. It's like, it's time for bed. Timmy, it's time for bed. Like a babysitter.
I mean, I basically feel like we don't even have to because it's gonna come across.
It will come across. It will,
But so how did we meet?
At Starlight Knitting Society. Here in Portland, there's a wonderful yarn store called Starlight Knitting Society. You should check us out sometime.
And I moved to Portland just about 3 years ago now. It's almost my 3-year anniversary.
What month did you move in?
The end of June.
Oh.
I know, right?
That's my birthday. That's why you moved here. Aww.
It was just fate.
Right.
Because the universe revolves around the youngest, so...
It's the truth, though. My sister used to do this thing. She'd go, "What is this?" "Oh, it's the world revolving around Timmy." Yeah, you're not wrong.
So I basically almost immediately messaged Starlight. I had talked to them before and they were like, "We'd love to have you." And then Tim and I started hosting the weekly knit night. So if you have been to one of the Starlight knit nights, you most likely saw us there.
Yep.
Or at least one of us, but we're both there most of the time. And we became friends.
What did you call us the other day? We were personality hires. Personality hires. Anyway, yes.
Yeah, and so we've recently been talking because I have my own knitting podcast, which is also here on this channel. And I just really want more content that is queer, that is funny, that is not taking itself too seriously, that is exploring aspects of the knitting world that's a little different than a traditional sit-down podcast. And I was like, Tim is the obvious
because we just
co-host.
do this anyway. We
We kiki
all the time. So yeah, it's a pretty natural progression, I think.
I think so too.
What are you working on?
I'm starting the Sunshine Tea by Andrea Gahn, and I am using Spin Cycle's new tonal called Scranton. Look at this ketchup and mustard moment.
No, but really this, the shades
I know,
in there.
that's why I saw it, and I was like, that's too expensive, I shouldn't do that.
Oh,
but
so
then I
pretty,
couldn't get it out of my mind.
Yep.
I couldn't. So I'm just on plain stockinette part of that. Yeah, so that's what's that. What are you working on? Your second?
Also am using Spin Cycle, but this is dyed in the wool. We didn't mean for this to happen, but it's a dyed in the wool. It's called Lathe, the color. And it's a semi-solid.
Yeah.
I think it fits in with these really nicely, the semi-solids. But yeah, so dyed in the wool and lathe, and Woolfolk tinned in color 31, which is my favorite. It's like a blue gray light color, and it's just a cowl I'm designing. It's a houndstooth cowl. I've always been obsessed with houndstooth, so I'm making the second one, and I think I'm gonna make this one a little different than the first one, but I'll publish that soon. Yeah.
And, okay, so part of what I think is exciting about doing this together is that we both have been knitting for a long ass time.
It's true.
So how long have you been knitting?
I started when I was 8. My neighbor was my best friend, Rebecca. Bless her. She was fun. We had a lot of fun. We'd play Barbies and we'd like play house outside. One day we had this she was an only child and I was the youngest. So you put that together and that was there was this weird competitive streak, but she always got everything and I didn't feel like I was missing anything growing up, but she would always get the cool Barbies or the cool whatever it is. So I was always just kind of a little bit So one day she comes out of her house and she's like, look what my mom told me how to do. And she has these knitting needles and she's got knitting on there and I freaked out because I had been obsessed with the idea of, I had learned to crochet and my aunt told me showed me a little crochet but didn't show me how to increase, so it just went and I had a bunch of little bowls, one that my nanny kept, and it said Tim 1991 in the thing, and I was like, oh, that's nanny, but she kept it there for years, and
so you learned before I was born is the thing.
Wow, yeah, pretty much. But then I was like, would your mom teach me how to knit? She's like, yeah, absolutely. And she did. She taught me how to knit. And I went home and I was like, I'm going to cast on 100 stitches. So that was the biggest thing in my head that I could do. And she was like, my mom says you can't do that.
You were like, I'll fight her.
Watch me. And I did. And I still have that piece. It's cream acrylic scratchy red heart kind of which no shade to Red Heart. She's a workhorse. But it was just this big. It was 100 stitches on a size 10 needle. It was a Susan Bates blue aluminum.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that aluminum and acrylic.
Yeah, the stitches are still live too. I'm like, ooh, why are those stitches still on there? Anyway, yeah, after that I just went nuts and I wanted to make an Aran sweater, a fisherman's cable sweater. Mm-hmm. And I saw in Ames department store, RIP, rest in peace, Ames. I don't know what happened to her. But I saw fisherman's wool in there. Lions brand fisherman's wool, and on the tag it had this sweater, and I made the sweater from the sleeve, and I used those little booklets that they would have on the, yes, and I got one of those and learned how to do all of the stitches, and I just a big nerd about it.
Yeah, hi Maple. I also have Red Heart Super Saver. I got really into zines when I was in high school.
Yes.
And for the first time was really learning about feminism and being really proud to be a woman.
Yeah. And
so I went to Joann's or something with my mom and I got a hot pink Red Heart Super Saver, also on very slippery metal needles, straight needles, and just knit I don't know, a rectangle for some and I would bring it to class and I would sit with my the 3-ring binders that had the clear thing. I would put zines in it. So it was my binder for class, but it was showing off my zine
This
collection.
is my work. So.
No, they weren't my zines, they were my friends' zines.
Oh, they were a collection
of other yeah.
Okay.
And then I would sit and knit my hot pink acrylic scarf.
You were cool. You were cool, girl.
Well, I only had one friend, but it's
still.
I was yeah.
Dang. So wait, and then when did you start making zines?
I actually didn't start making them until I was after college, really.
Okay.
I made some and traveled to Zine Fest in the sort of 2 years after college.
Zine Fest?
Yeah.
What's that?
It's there's a Portland Zine Symposium here that I traveled to. At the time I was living in Oakland, California. And then there was a Chicago Zine Fest, and it's basically just a huge tabling event where you bring your zines and trade with other people and sell your zines.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun.
So I traveled by myself, when I was, I guess I must have been 20, 21 at that point.
Okay.
And yeah, I was just I don't know, I'm gonna buy a plane ticket and get an Airbnb and figure it out. Yeah, but I met a really good friend of mine, Fiona, who is also a zinester, printmaker, knitter, And like the friendships that I made were other knitters in the zine community, which
That's
is really
so cool.
Yeah.
How long from when you first... I'm Barbara Walters, by the way. I'm like interviewing... No. How long between like learning to knit and when you started collecting zines, or like did they switch what type you...
the reason I was interested in knitting in the first place was because of some of the women who were like making zines who were talking about sort of, I guess, like homemaking aspects and talking about radicalizing them. One of the best examples I have, which that would just like made sense to my 15-16-year-old brain, was that people were like knitting these like hand warmers and then writing, like making these like felt pins that were hearts and sewing them on it, and they would just say like cunt, and it just like felt like this like reclamation, like we're making these like these accessories and they're like really cutesy, but then we're like sort of flipping it on its side, and I feel like that's so like early, like 2010, like like it feels very like indie twee, like but like that was really, I'd never seen anything like so subversive like that at the time. And it got me, like that was the time where I was like really starting to like be into fashion and clothing and like textiles, just I think in general, and like how, as it like I could be an artist and sort of make a statement about things.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Robert was asking the other day, when did knitting get to be so big? Like, wasn't it like a smaller? And I was like, I don't know. In my memory, it seemed like Vicky Howell changed, like, the Stitch and Bitch book. I just remember that being, like, a moment. And people seeing sort of, like, those wrist warmers with, like, things written on them. There's just, like, something subversive about knitting again or crafting again.
I think that was definitely, like, we know for sure that, like, early 2000s, like when Sock Summit was happening, when Stitch and Bitch came out, that like there was definitely a wave, a lot of local yarn stores opened like in that time. And another like moment that I think of is when Last Minute Knitted Gifts came out. Do you know that book? I feel like that book was a turning point towards kind of a sophistication in knitting and hand knitting. I feel like riding the coattails of that, we got Quince & Co. and Brooklyn Tweed. Because there was this like surge in popularity. And then, but that Stitch and Bitch era is very different, like Knitty era.
Knitty.com.
The Yarn Harlot, like.
Oh my god, I love Stephanie Pearl McPhee. Listen, she is OG. I saw her speak in Lake Placid, New York, which is like the Adirondack Mountains. Sorry. They're
compared
mountains,
to Mount
I guess.
Hood.
Compared to Mount Hood, they're hills. But she, the yarn store there had Stephanie Pearl McPhee come out for this event, and so many people fit into this tiny little shop, and she just read from her book. It was hysterical. And I went with my friend Mary, who was like my knitting buddy, my middle-aged woman posse, and she brought me to it, and we enjoyed the heck out of it. It was really, really funny. And then she like went around the shop shopping for yarn, Stephanie did, and so we were seeing what she was interested in buying. I don't know, it's very interesting celebrity, and this idea of knit celebrity, which is, I don't know. But back to the like crafting knit thing, it's so interesting because as you were talking about it, like this, I don't know, like taking this old craft that people have done for so long and has had so many iterations and revivals or whatever. It's not unlike Bauhaus when you have weaving, and weaving isn't just craft. It's like something that you do at home that's crafty and cute, but it's like high art. That someone's making by hand with stitches. Not to say that machine knitting is like lesser than, because there's art in that too, but by hand, that like tactile, I don't know, I'll get on my soapbox, but I love Bauhaus, and I love that it kind of comes back again, and then I don't really think it's gone away since.
Like, I had another episode where I had a guest on my YouTube channel, B of Maker B, who was like, I will never call myself a fiber artist because I'm a knitter and a crafter, and that is valid. Yeah. I feel like people use fiber artists to try and validate the art, you know, that women have traditionally done.
Right.
And I think about that a lot, even though like yeah, like people don't take crafters seriously.
Right. That's cute. You made your socks. I made my socks with sticks and string, and I'm keeping my feet warm through it all. Anyway, yes, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, what are you doing with your hands, Kevin?
Hey, Chad, what are you doing with your hands? Listen, no shade to the boys. Boys, get knitting. I don't know, boys get knitting. Come on. We just need to, I don't know. That is a whole interesting discussion about.
But here's the thing. One time I was on the T in Boston, which is like the train, and this man, I was knitting with headphones on, okay? So like, I don't want to talk to you. And this guy like is like trying to get my attention, and I'm like, and he was like my age, okay? Like 20s. I like move my headphone and I'm like, yes. And he was like, I just like, it's really cool that you're like, you know, it's really cool that you're making something with your hands and not doing nothing. And I was like, go chew your gum on the other side of the train.
I really don't want to talk to you right now. Isn't there something that's so
like,
empowering to want to be like...
This isn't for you.
I'm not doing this for you. Thanks.
So what do you like about being a youngest?
What do I like about being a youngest? Oh, jeez. Okay.
Being a brat all the time?
Well, the thing is that I watched that video you sent me yesterday. Did you send me that? Yes. They're
what?
like,
I don't know what video
they're
you're
like,
talking about.
I'm an oldest. Of course I have to babysit my youngest, or whatever that one was. That was really funny.
And then it was like, I'm a middle, and then it just cuts off.
Doesn't even let her talk. I'm a middle next to the youngest. I think about being a youngest, I was definitely allowed to do more than my siblings were when they were. Oh, hello. Hi. Very good. I think you're on my yarn.
She's like, can I roost on your yarn?
That's fine.
Meeple, like...
I think, I was afforded a lot more leniency from my parents. I think they were just tired. They were like, fine.
Well, you're the fifth.
I'm the baby of 5.
Yeah,
and that's a lot to... I learned from my brother what not to do.
How close in age are you to your next young?
Dan is number 2. I look at it as I'm number 1. Dan's number 2. He is a year and a half older than I am.
Okay.
Close to 2 years.
Okay. For some reason, I thought it was a bigger gap.
My oldest sister they're 17 years between us.
Okay. Okay.
So that part, but somehow we kind of like, I don't know, grew up closest or.
She was taking care of you the most?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
She kind of took care of me, and I would like go to her house, and it was very fun and sweet. And then I was like, my niece is 8 years older than me, so we were like buddies.
Oh.
We still are buddies. We're just like.
I didn't realize she was older than you for some reason.
Who?
Your niece.
No, she's not.
You said she's.
I was 8 years older than her. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I was 8 years.
I was like, I thought.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I got to a lot. I just learned a lot from my siblings, I think. What do you like being about an oldest? About being an oldest?
Well, I'll tell you what I don't like. Which is maybe the most oldest response that you...
Wow.
Because I'm not just like the oldest of my siblings, but I'm also like the oldest grandchild.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, of like my mom's side. So I was the first one, and then Kennedy came after me, and then we have 3 cousins that are younger than us. So we have like on my dad's side it was a mix, but like, of course, we like spent most time with my maternal side of the family.
Yeah.
So, and my mom is the same. She's also like the oldest.
I didn't know that either.
Of like most of her cousins.
Okay.
But the oldest girl.
Okay.
So I just feel like there's a lot of like family, like not maintenance or housework, but like managing, like that falls on the oldest.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
yep.
So it's like we're just like not allowed to be as silly.
Right, because there's more responsibility.
I feel like that, yeah. And like I think it feels like everyone's like looking up to us. And of course I ended up with Kay, my partner, who is a youngest as well. And I think in like Kay and I's relationship, I have learned to be a little bit less rigid.
Sure.
But it's hard because and that is that my mom really tried to not have me follow her experience because she's
the oldest.
Is the oldest and really did a lot of labor because my grandma was working. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. And then my yaya is the youngest. My grandma is the youngest of 5 as well.
Yaya is definitely a youngest.
I mean...
she's great.
So there's a lot of women in my family, a lot of very, like, matriarchal, politics, I would say.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's very...
I kind of love that, though. I love being around your family because there is a lot of that, like, that motherhood thing, that, like, very tender and, like...
Yeah.
No, there's also like the no nonsense of it all. I really appreciate that. I have things with moms. I love like motherhood and
just like no.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
That's the theme. No.
Your mom called me a weenie.
Yeah,
and I live that she called me a weenie. I think it's so funny. That because I was being a weenie. Call me out. I think the other thing about being a youngest is you kind of feel safe to push boundaries or not push boundaries, but
push buttons.
Test the limit of like
you're like
poke at things and see what happens. That can be so annoying, and I know that because I have youngest friends as well. I'm just like
And so I know you talked to your parents about doing a podcast called Sibling Energy. Did you talk to your siblings about it?
I didn't at all, but we should talk to our siblings.
I know, yeah.
I
told my sister and she was just like, of course you are. Like,
I think it's interesting to look at it, yes, in our relationship, but also with other people. Our friend Emily is a middle, and the funniest thing that happens when we all hang out is Emily will try to keep balance between the two of us. Not like intensely, but she'll just, with one thing, I'll say something like ludicrous, and she'll be like, Tim, and she'll say with Mckenzie. And then the opposite happens with Mckenzie. It's really funny. It's silly.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So we thought one of the funny things that we could do is look at knitting terms, stitch patterns, like actual sweater patterns, accessory patterns, and label them as oldest, middle, youngest, or only. And so...
It's true, I forgot about the onlys out there. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so comment if you have we want a list of things that we can sort of sort into these categories, and I want you to comment, like, if there's a specific sweater pattern that you, I don't know, think is hideous, like, comment it. If there's a sweater pattern you think is gorgeous, comment it, and we will categorize, and then we will maybe go into our justification of the categorization.
Yeah, I think that's fun.
So to start, should we look at like the most popular Google search terms for knitting?
Yes. I just typed Google terms for knitting in Google. Get me out of here. Okay, terms for knitting. Here we go. Number 1, bind off. Bind off to me is oldest. Bind off to me is oldest.
Because you're like...
It's a command. Bind off. Okay, I guess it's
So
that
you're like
time.
completing
Yeah.
your project?
Yes.
Because we get shit done.
That's absolutely why. Okay, let's see. Cast on. I mean,
Youngest. Yeah.
if bind off is oldest, cast on is youngest.
Just
I
like chaotic
It's
energy.
chaos.
Because like, are you finished with your other projects?
No, and that's my problem. I told people, I was like, I have cast-on-itis, and they were like, okay. That's
You're youngest.
interesting. I was like, yeah, no, I'm not finishing anything. I mean, I guess I am finishing something. I just finished the rose sweater, the Crown of Roses
You
sweater.
finished
I
it?
blocked it. It's a short sleeve girl. It's like
Oh,
to
I
here.
can't wait to see it.
It's really cute. Yeah. Should have gauge swatched.
So here's the
Just
thing.
a little bit. So we tell everyone, do a gauge swatch. You have to.
Do as I
Say.
say, not as I do.
Right. Okay, here's one for you, Bobble.
Ooh, a bobble. Pain in the ass.
I have, and it's not just because it's like we've already covered those, but I really do think a Bobble is a middle child. And here's...
Explain.
Explain yourself.
Explain.
So, I think because a Bobble...
It's already too serious. It's already too serious. Okay, go.
A Bobble to me is forgettable. I'm sorry. No, I think a Bobble, yeah,
I
it's
just
just
had
like...
such bad deja vu.
No, Bobble is just kind of like... They're usually attached like this. They're like yarn over,
Like
knit
it's-
into the front and back 5 times.
Basically, a knitting skin tag.
You're so right.
Oh
A knitting skin tag. That's so gross. Oh my god.
my god. Well,
I feel like knit and purl are mother. They're just mother. Because they're the mother of all. They're the foundation.
they're the gay mothers.
The
The
Pearl.
The pearl is the butch.
Pearl. You said Pearl's butch.
Pearl is butch.
Pearl is butch. Yarn over, however. Ooh.
Youngest because you're just
Yarn
a
over
hole.
is youngest. Wow! Because we've got a big hole. I mean, listen. It's true.
Just decoration.
No,
at
it
that
is.
point.
And it's really just simple to like, okay, we'll just bring it to the front and go around. Yeah.
Yeah, no one really like they see it. And
They
it's
see it.
decorative.
But also they see it and they don't know how like really important it is to the family system, to the knitting system.
They're the
yarn over.
levity.
They're the levity.
Brioche is an oldest.
Brioche is an oldest and she's posh as hell.
She's such a pain in the
She's
ass.
like,
She's the lawyer oldest who is like, what are you doing with your life? And you're like, I don't know, I'm just making puppets at the theater down the street.
Yarn over
And
is
she's
like
and how are you gonna make a
a
career out of
theater
that?
major. Yarn over is a theater major. I can say that because it was.
Right though?
How are you going to make a career out of that? I love disputing that with people.
It reminds me of basically like Alison Brie. Thinking of her in The Happiest Season.
What's that?
That movie with Dan Levy and Kristen Stewart.
Oh, I didn't see it.
You ever saw that?
I didn't see it.
Okay, Christmas in July.
I know.
I liked it.
Okay, but what were we saying about?
Brioche is oldest.
Brioche is oldest.
Brioche is the snobby oldest lawyer sister.
And why? Because she's difficult.
Yeah.
Brioche is a saucy little...
And if one thing is out of place, she falls apart. And she's very hard to put back together.
true. Yeah, picking up a brioche stitch.
No.
Listen. Okay, what about a cable? Cable's tricky.
Okay, here's the thing.
Okay.
Okay, here's the thing.
All right. Are we doing left facing cable
no,
and
not
right?
left, no. If it's two stitches.
Two stitch
If it's
cable.
two stitches, it's a middle. If it's two stitches, it's a middle.
Anything more than that? Oh,
Anything
we're doing
more
3 by
than
3?
that-
We're doing 6 by 6, big one?
No. I would say between 3 and 6
Okay.
is an oldest.
I would
Anything
agree.
more than that is a youngest.
I would agree. I would actually agree. And you know what is if you can do the
And a mop cable is an only. Like
when you just like yarn over it. That's so silly. It's an only. Sorry. We all have siblings.
We're gonna be canceled.
We will
then.
be canceled. Absolutely, we'll be canceled by the onlys. So the thing is, like, if you're an only, we have only love for you. Ridiculous.
Oh my god.
Ridiculous.
So again, leave comments for other things that you would like for us to categorize, and we will do that in the next episode.
And also be on the lookout for those things that you think are oldest, middle, and youngest, and onlys. Because you never know, they're all over the place. Like garter stitch.
Ooh.
I think we could do garter stitch and stockinette.
Garter and stockinette.
Hmm.
Garter, stockinette, reverse stockinette.
Reverse stockinette is an only. I'm so sorry that I have to say that. It just, when I see a pattern and it says, this sweater is knit in reverse stockinette, I say, I'm doing it in stockinette or inside out.
Yeah.
I'm not purling the whole thing. Are you kidding me?
So you're ignoring them.
I'm ignoring it, and I'm figuring out a way I can do it so that it's just stockinette.
So that it's better.
Listen. Or I hope the direction usually says like, this is a reverse stockinette. Oh, who did that? I think it was Max. Max the knitter. He did a inside out pattern, but it was knit. So you could just like
Yeah, I
knit
mean
the
that
whole
makes
thing.
sense.
Bless his heart. Bless. Because nobody's trying to purl the whole thing. Anywho. Garter.
Oldest, just simple and reliable.
Garter, I think, is yeah, okay. Simple and reliable, oldest. I think that tracks. Stockinette is like really cool, really like the foundation of everything. I think maybe stockinette's like a youngest. Garter stitch is responsible because here's the deal. Stockinette stitch, it can be either like the V side or the O side, right? So it's like...
Wait, didn't we just say that's reverse stockinette though?
So reverse stockinette, yeah, I know, but stockinette is versatile. Reverse stockinette is an only because it's kind of made up.
Cancelled! We're ignorant.
Yeah, put the little like hockey buzzer. That's exactly what the hockey buzzer sounded like.
Penalty!
It'd be like, okay, it's done.
Oh my god.
What have you been thinking about knitting?
Okay, well, if you remember, I texted you earlier this week.
Yes.
And I told you that I cast on a blanket, which is also a cry for help.
Yes.
So I
said, I will pray for you.
And so I've been knitting on that. And then as I'm working on that, which is just garter with like a little bit of an I-cord border, I go...
It's oldest, it's reliable.
And as I knit on it, even though it feels good, I'm like, I could be working on a sweater.
Yes.
That's the thing, right? So, I mean, but look at this.
Oh my god, it like naturally...
I know, it's so good.
This
it's
is
really
your
good.
color story, though.
I
This is
know.
like everything you have, which is no shade. This is real good. Wow, it's gonna get so light
I
there,
know.
too. What's the circle you're gonna do?
So this is the back right now.
Okay.
Right? And then I will pick up and start knitting down. And then at that point, I need to see how many stitches will be on the front, and then I need to chart out an intarsia circle.
That's cool.
It's gonna look sick.
It's gonna look really good. That's the back. It's top down?
Yeah.
So you do back here, pick up here, and then work.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it's supposed to join in the round, but I'm just gonna do it flat and seam.
Got it.
Yeah. So once I hit, and I'm gonna be real anal about it.
Yeah.
And once I hit like the bottom of the armhole, I'm going to like put a marker and I'm gonna count like each row.
Yeah.
So that I know how many rows to do the front, that it's gonna seam together like perfectly.
That's so good.
So, but I've also been thinking about when we are gonna cast on
our sheep camp.
And maybe we should host a knit along.
We should. That'd be fun. So it is the unofficial sweater of Starlight Knitting Camp. Starlight Camp.
Camp Starlight.
Wow. Camp Starlight. Camp Starlight.
This is why you need an oldest involved, okay?
I know. It's the truth. Mckenzie has sold her yarn there before. Has taught there. Camp Starlight. I've helped out a few times, and then now I host, which is fun. And we have a bunch of fun at Camp Starlight. It's silly, but it's beautiful. It's in Vernonia. I think it's full already. Sign-ups open in April, and it gets full. The actual camp is in September in Vernonia.
So it's like right at the beginning of knitting season, which I love. I mean, it's
because
always
the nights
knitting
are
season.
cold.
Yes.
Let's go there. It's always knitting season. I'll die on that hill.
Yeah.
I'm up. It's 100 degrees. I'm knitting something. I have to.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do? Like look at my phone, stare at my phone?
And you know what? I'm not even knitting cotton. I'm knitting wool.
I'm knitting wool. That's it. Give me some Lopi. Fine. I'll take some Lopi. I don't remember the last time I knit something with Lopi. I have a bunch of it too, and I'm not sure what to do with it. Anyway, Camp Starlight. So we decided, sort of as a camp together, that the unofficial sweater of 2024 Camp Starlight is going to be the sheep camp sweater.
Yes,
Because
by
some
Jennifer
people have
Berg.
them. Jenny Berg! Like we're friends. Jennifer, I'm so sorry. But
it's this sweater. I'll put it in.
Isn't it cute? What
So
color
we
are you
need-
going to do yours in?
So mine, so last year we had Haley Bailey, who is a local to us dyer, come and sell yarn, and I had just bought a sweater quantity of her yarn, and so because she was there and she's going to be teaching this year,
she's
I'm
so good.
using her just superwash DK base
Yep.
for like the main part of the sweater, and it is a like aqua turquoise, beautiful color, kind of greeny blue.
Is it dark?
No, it's light. It's like gray, blue, green.
Ugh.
And then
So
the
good.
contrast is Acadia by the Fiber Company in like a cream.
That's going to be pretty.
I think so too.
Dang.
So that's what I'm going to use. And you're going to use Dapple, right?
I'm using Dapple. I'm using Brooklyn Tweed Dapple. I wanted to do something that's sort of light-ish weight, but still you can wear. I was thinking, imagining wearing it at night at Camp Starlight because it gets so cold and crispy, and you want to have a fire, but we usually can't have a fire because Oregon gets really dry by then. So sitting around there with your Lumos light and just like everyone sits around the campfire with like whiskey and it gets silly. But yeah, and hopefully we have some people who are doing another sheep camp.
They're doing a second?
They're doing a second or third.
Okay, I'm kind of
remember who
obsessed
told
with
me.
that.
I know, it was really great. I'm looking forward to modifying, like figuring out how to modify it a little bit.
because it's just like a deep circular yoke, and like
Yeah.
a lot of people complain that there's like a little too much like fabric here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's gonna be fun, and so maybe we should do like a summer knit along.
We should.
Sheep camp knit along.
Yes. It's a DK weight.
Correct.
So get all that DK in your stash.
And I feel like a lot of people, like if you have some hand spun that you're like, I don't know what to do with, you can totally do like the contrast and some hand spun.
Yeah.
So.
I've seen some really beautiful spin cycle ones with Dream State. Yeah, so we should cast that on.
So since you just finished a sweater and you're almost done with that.
Yep.
I mean, I know you have other projects that you're working on, but is there anything you're eager to cast on? That is not a cry for help?
So it is always a cry for help because there's 35 sweaters that I'm doing. No, I'm looking at, so I'm using straw from Wolf Oak and I'm doing the collar right now. There's a new, like a cardigan polo, like a short sleeve button up with polo collar in their linen wool base. And I'm doing a sample for myself because I want one. And I'm doing the collar and it's double knit. So it's taking a little bit longer, but it's not released yet. It'll be released probably at the end of May. Well, whenever this will.
Oh, I thought we were at the.
We're in June.
I was like, end of May. Oh no, it's the beginning of May.
Yeah. And then I'm just playing writing a pattern for a top-down polo t-shirt in the wool straw as well. I just got some yarn I just got some yarn at Joann's, made by Eddie Bauer. I was like, what is Eddie Bauer doing making yarn? The last that I knew, they had like an outlet store in Burlington, Vermont. I don't know.
I was like outlet store and also like weird car editions, right?
Car editions, yes. Or like blankets. They would have these like Anyway, specific vibe, Eddie Bauer. Good for you, Sister Edward. But they have a yarn line, and there's one of their bases is cotton. And so I ran to Joann's to see what it feels like. There was a really beautiful cream color. And I think I'm just going to do like on a size 8, it's fingering weight. And
Wait, it's fingering?
It's fingering weight. So I'm just going to do like a long sleeve t-shirt on a size 8. So it's super holy and like,
oh my God.
Just throw it on over a t-shirt.
Cute.
Sort of like the flax one I did for that one time.
Yeah.
Again, I think I usually go through this once every couple years that I'm like, I'm going to make something with cotton. I'm going to make something with linen. And then it ends up like hurting my hands a little bit. But it's the, what do you call that when you forget? I don't know. Just forget that something hurts. I don't know.
Like you forget childbirth.
I forgot coming out of the womb. I forgot that.
No, I meant giving birth.
Oh.
Youngest behavior. Youngest.
It's about me, Mom. Let me out of here.
But that's like the only way that people would have more than one child is.
Yes, you forget the toughness of childbirth.
Not that I have children, but.
Right, me either. Or that I will ever know what that feels like.
Oh my God.
But that's, again, why mad respect to moms. Oh, Mother's Day is coming up. Oh, I love that. Moms and mothering energy. We love it.
That's so funny.
Love it, love it. Yeah, so that, I don't know, just making. I'm on this, like, kick to make things.
I finished... but I made all my crochet squares for the fanny pack that Yaya's gonna make.
Yes.
And it's all cream except in the middle, this color. So the very center 4 clusters are bright orange.
That's so cool.
And then it's cream. And so, as we have mentioned, my grandmother is a diva. She is. And she came to visit, and right before she came, she made a crochet granny square fanny pack. And it was like fully lined with fabric, zipper, hardware. It was so cute. And I commented on her her Instagram, because my grandmother has an Instagram because she's very savvy.
Uh-huh.
And she said, project of the day. And I commented and was like, oh, I want one. And she was like, we can do a trade. I was like, for what? For my dignity? I know, it's for real. And so when she got here and she was like, and I like brought it up and she's like, yeah, and you didn't respond. So I was like, oops. And I was like, well, I'll make the granny squares. And she was offended because she thought that I was saying that
she said you don't like mine?
weren't good enough. But then when I posted a photo of it, she was like, oh no, they are better than mine.
Wow.
And she called me La Maestra of granny squares, which I thought was very funny.
That's high praise from her, who is the queen of everything. Queen of everything, Yaya.
Right? And then, oh my God, and then when she was like talking about, I don't know if you remember making a deal with her.
I do. I know, but I will make that
I'm like,
for
how
her.
stoned were you?
That part. I will make it for her.
And she said, if you were like, I'll make you a sweater if you make me one of these, is what you said. Okay. And then she was like, I feel bad. I feel like I shouldn't ask for a sweater. And I was like, well, he offered a sweater. And she goes, and Mom goes, didn't you see how fast he knit? Like he was sitting over there. And I was like, he's just dramatic with his movements. He's not that fast.
It's true. I'm pretty dramatic. And I realize that every now and then when my hands are hurting and I'm just doing stockinette. I'm like, ow, what is happening? My economy of movement is out of control. And I need to just like be a little more chill with, it's true.
I was like, he's just showing off. He's like.
Actually, in reality, I wanted to get that done. And I did. I finished the Crown of Roses sweater, which is really cute. You should check that out too.
But yeah, I just like to read you when you're not in the room.
I know. It's fine. That And then I saw the bag and I was like, I want to make one.
You can make one.
I want to make the.
But the thing is that the fact that she lined it.
It's
she
the fabric.
lined it.
I know. And she put a zipper in it.
And I
like,
gave her jackalope fabric. There's little jackalopes.
That's
It's like a quilting cotton. So
Aww.
hopefully Mom will bring it back.
That's
and it will
really
be
cute.
like done.
Who is it?
Hi.
Who is it?
Okay, so another segment that we talked about was looking at Ravelry Hot right now. Because sometimes there's some interesting
choices. Yeah, for
right?
sure.
So I'm gonna pull up Ravelry Hot right now. Let's discuss. Ravelry.
Ravelry.
What's your blood type?
I was just thinking about that the other day. Because when I got transplanted, I was like, I had to know my blood type, and I think I'm A-pos.
Oh.
Or A-neg.
I think I'm A positive. My dad was like, I don't fucking know. I was like, same.
Wait, where is it on the
Hot right now?
Yeah.
You just click patterns.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god. I just learned how to use the internet today. God, what is wrong with me?
Okay, pick an oldest.
Out of the hot right now?
Yeah.
Okay. I already have an oldest pattern.
You already have one?
Yeah, do I need to find a youngest?
Why are there so many? Is this how...
I just can't. I can't do this. I can't do that.
That's an only.
It's an only.
Okay, so here's the thing. There's one baby pattern.
Yes.
And I think that's the oldest. That's the oldest pattern right now.
That's the oldest for you?
Because babies.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
What I'm saying for the oldest is the Ranunculus. Because it's been on there for 7 years.
And
if
we're
not
reliable.
More. And it's reliable.
But also kind of boring.
I love a Ranunculus. I love a Ranunculus. I will do a Ranunculus in...
But at this point, it's like basically basic.
It's pretty basic. Yeah, no, like everyone's... It's a really great beginning lace, maybe? I would say beginning lace.
Maybe.
Maybe. I would do it. I guess because I've done it in lace, and I think it's really pretty. Done in like... it was like Tussa silk tweed. And it was just like a whisper. You couldn't... It's just... Whispers.
But do you think the oldest is a whisperer?
I mean, I'm just saying for me that's what it is. But I agree that your baby, the Emery, is that what it is?
I lost it.
Is it the Emery sweater? It's really cute. I think it's a sweater.
It's like a set, I think.
I think it is a set,
also
yeah.
makes sense, right?
It's cute.
I mean, the baby's cute.
The baby's so cute.
Yeah, Emery.
And
I know it's a stereotype, but like also.
It's a youngest. I like the shorty.
And so here's the thing. I think this is a youngest.
Okay, I think you're right. I think you're probably right. It's giving me like musical theater.
Uh-huh.
A youngest famously loves to perform. Mom, look what I can do. Hey, look what I can do.
Look at me twirling.
That's a dress with a twirl. Why do you choose? Do you choose something that you want to wear?
Usually, yes, something that I want to wear, which is why I think my projects tend to be on the more boring side, because I find very basic things usually the most wearable.
Mm-hmm.
But
with
I would like
cute little like that has some detail. That has a little rib raglan detail.
But
super
this
cute.
is boring.
I mean,
but it fits well.
And the little opening on the side, like I think there's enough interest in that makes it.
But knitting it wasn't.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Oldest.
That's oldest.
And I want
we can
that.
both agree.
I want that so bad.
I absolutely love it. I'm obsessed with it. No, it's so pretty. Who is
I know. It's Marie Wallen.
It's Marie Wallen. Is that from the Worsted book?
Yeah.
Oh God, that's pretty.
I know it is.
I love.
I don't know if I
color.
could like wear that. If it would look too grandma on me.
No, you could style that. I know you could style that. Also, with the colors that you use. No, see, the colors you use are going to make it, like, cute and hip, and not that it's not hip, but...
Look at this shawl with all of the skin tags
on it. Bye. Ew, I'm so loud. So loud.
Okay, well, that's our show.
That's our show. Tim saying ew and so loud. No, you were born in 1994.
No.
1993.
No.
2?
Yes.
That's
92.
right.
And if you would like my social security number, just stay until after the credits. Okay, well, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, please leave a comment. Please remember to leave a knitting pattern, a knitting stitch pattern, a knitting term, so that we can discuss what sibling energy it has for the next episode. Anything else?
No, that's pretty much it. I want to see what everyone's making. So
Yeah.
I can nerd out and knit vicariously through you.
And let us know if you are interested in joining us for a sheep camp knit along throughout the summer. If there's enough interest, we will talk about details of that in the next podcast episode, and maybe we'll even have some prizes. We'll see what we can put together. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.